Good morning, good morning. As I'm up here, straightening up my bed and stuff, and doing my regular routine on Sunday, I decided to tell y'all a story about Margaret had an arch nemesis. When I say my sister had an arch nemesis, child, her and this boy fought forever. And when I say they fought forever. Now, this boy had been harassing Margaret from oh, I want to say her seventh grade year all the way to her ninth grade year. Now, keep in mind, Monique was already out of school by the time I was going to the 11th and 12th grade. But this happened like right before Margaret got into this big cafeteria fight at school. Now, Margaret had always wanted to be a cheerleader. She was cheering. That was always Margaret. But keep in mind, my mom, by her having three girls, my mom decided all of a sudden to become a hairdresser. Yep, my mother, Mary King, decided to go to school to be a cosmetologist. Now, when she came home, she had this whole big bag of curlers, curling irons, makeup, and all this other stuff. Now, this is going to tie into my story that I'm going to tell on YouTube later. But nevertheless, Margaret wanted to be a cheerleader. So back then, when Salt and Pepper and stuff was coming out, they would cut all their hair off right here, leave long hair and go to the side. Margaret kept worrying my mom to death about having this haircut. So my mom decided one day she was going to cut Margaret's hair. Now, small disclaimer. We're going to disclaim this shit, okay? My mom and my dad is not got good hair. So that means we don't have good hair. We can buy it, but we don't have it. Okay, so Margaret wanted to have this particular haircut. My mom told her, once I cut your hair like this, it's not going to automatically grow back. She told Margaret, she said, I'm going to cut it today, and when I get out of school later, I'm going to relax it and I'm going to curl it. Margaret was like, okay. Margaret always had medium length hair, but Margaret's hair was like Margaret's hair. That's all I'm going to say. It's my sister. Don't talk about my damn sister. Okay, but anywho, mom cut her hair off. I come up with this idea to lay Margaret's hair down in the back with some Murphy's hair grease and tie it up so she can have waves until she can get her hair done by my mom the next day for school. Okay, so, but Margaret and them had, what is that thing called right before a game? It was like the cheerleaders was on the stage. Margaret was a cheerleader. Margaret started off as a regular cheerleader, then she went to co-captain. But at the end of the day, Margaret wanted to cheer that day. So I tied Margaret's hair up. I brushed it down, tied Margaret's hair up. Margaret gets ready to get on the stage. Now, keep in mind, it was this boy named Brian. I will never forget this. This boy named Brian had like a space in the middle of his hair. Okay, now Brian had like either got a grease bird or something, but it was like from here to here. His hairline started here. There was a space, did his hair. Now, keep in mind, back then, kids would actually pick on other kids because they had a flaw. This was his flaw. Hold on. Damn it. Jesus. Anywho, he had a flaw. So the kids was making fun of him, so he decided to make fun of Margaret. So when he would make fun of Margaret, he would call her like stick lady, because Margaret was always tall and skinny. But he would always make reference of her weight and her hair. Always, no matter what Margaret had, he would always make fun of Margaret. Now, keep in mind, the cheerleaders was on the stage. I had already laid Margaret's hair down. My mom had already cut it, but Margaret needed a relaxer. This boy waited until the cheerleaders got on the stage. And when they got on the stage, he yelled out, ha ha, Margaret, he said something like, ha ha, Margaret ain't got no hair in the back. When he said this, he said it in front of the whole student body. That made everybody laugh at my sister. Boy, was I burnt behind this. Now, keep in mind, I'm in the audience watching my sister up there cheering her ass off. Now, no, her hair wasn't, she didn't have good hair. I already told y'all that. But this boy pointed out the fact that Margaret didn't have no hair in the back. And when I said he kept making reference to Margaret didn't have no hair in the back, he made like a little song about it and all this other shit. So every time Margaret walked into the cafeteria or anywhere, these kids would actually sing this song about my sister didn't have no hair in the back. But my mom, by this time, the shit had went on in front of the kids and all this other stuff. Margaret was devastated. When I say my sister was devastated, she was devastated. To the point that My mom kept Margaret out of school the next day and actually relaxed it, curled it the way it was supposed to. She made her, got her a sew-in on the side and all this other stuff. Margaret was cute that very next day. But her feelings was hurt, so my mom kept her out of school that next day. But I went to school. Now, every time when I went to school, I wasn't a bully, but I was that person that would always take up for the lesser kid. Meaning that if you was bullying them, I was on your ass about bullying them. Because that's what you want to go do. But then you picked my sister. He picked Margaret. And keep in mind, he had this whole long part in the middle of his motherfucking head. Now keep in mind, I was so mad about what he had did to Margaret because the other kids was teasing her. I kept thinking of a plan on how I could get him. But meanwhile, he kept starting shit with Margaret. When I say he kept starting shit with Margaret, he kept starting shit with Margaret all the time. Oh, I was so mad about this. Oh, he was just getting on my... Okay, so clearly you already know. Now I'm cleaning up. Clearly you already know I was on his ass. I wanted to kick his motherfucking ass. I wanted to get him. But Margaret had told me and Monique, like, when we had talked about it, I had told Monique, I said, Monique, this boy is messing with Margaret and this and the other. I said, so what should I do? Monique like, no. She said, Monica, leave it alone. She said, this is Margaret's fight. Let Margaret deal with it. I'm like, no. I said, because this is a whole boy, and I don't want him saying what he want to say to my sister. She like, no, Monica, no. You go head on and you leave him alone, and you let Margaret handle it. But me and my motherfucking scheming ass man, I'm trying to think of a way where I can get a hold to this boy. Okay, so Margaret, I tell Margaret, I said, Margaret, what do you think we should do? She said, we ain't gonna do anything. She said, Monica, let me handle this. She was like, because he ain't messing with you, he messing with me. But every time I would see him in the hallway, I'd be on his ass like, wait till I catch you. I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna catch you. He was like, no, you ain't got nothing to do with it. This is between me and your sister. I didn't give a damn about none of that. I was on his ass like, I was looking for this. I was looking for his ass, okay? So time had went on. Margaret got a boyfriend named Daniel. When Margaret got this boyfriend named Daniel, he was on the football team, but so was Brian on the football team. Margaret had kept telling me time and time again, Monica, leave him alone. Don't keep messing with him. She was like, I know you messing with him because he keeps saying it when we get to class. He keeps saying, get your sister, get your sister. So I know you doing something. I wasn't really doing anything, but every time I get behind him, I'll push him. You always said, or I'll pull his hair or something like this, ready to get the fight started because I was willing to take the suspension and had to deal with Mary King later on. Then for him to keep picking with Margaret, I didn't understand why she didn't want me to get involved with this shit. Because I thought it was disrespectful. Very disrespectful. Plus, he had made up this little song, this little rap about Margaret ain't got no hair in the back. Margaret ain't got no hair in the back. How the hell could he talk and he didn't have no hair in the front? It looked like, I don't know, it just was no hair there. It wasn't a little space. It was a big, nice, ass space. But he kept messing with Margaret. But Margaret kept telling me, she kept saying, Monica, I'm going to get him. Let me handle it. She was like, because even if you get in the middle of it, it's still going to be my fight. Let me handle it. I'm like, oh, okay, Margaret. So I'm going to let her handle it. Now, this time, me, Melissa, and Nikki was sitting in the cafeteria. We was watching the homecoming shit that was getting ready to happen. So Margaret decided this particular day that she was going to wear a dress. And I'm thinking, like, why the hell is she wearing a dress? But okay, Margaret wanted to wear a dress, plus her hair was cute, and all this other stuff. She was cheerleading, boom, 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 boom. She was a cheerleader. So she had to keep up her little cheerleading shit. So that means her grades had to be good, her attendance had to be good, and Margaret had to be on her best behavior. Now, it was coming up close. Like, when this was going on, we was getting ready to go into, like, fall and all this other stuff when the football season started. Okay, so I had to take a break from cleaning up, honey, because listen, I got to tell you the rest of this story. Okay, so the whole time, Margaret is telling me and Monique, don't get involved in it, don't get involved in it. So we all like, okay. So in anybody's hometown, they always have rival football games. The rival football game, the rival teams down here is Dunbar Wolverines and the Trotwood Rams. Trotwood is like prestigious school, whatever the case may be, is in Trotwood. Dunbar is like hood, they is going down. Everybody want to get tickets to this game. So by Margaret being on the cheerleading team, she got us tickets to this game. So me, Monique, and a couple other people, we goes to the game. Now keep in mind, this boy had been messing with Margaret all this time. But see, at Trotwood was always a show-off school. Trotwood would always have, not only their band would play and all this other stuff, they would have like Roger Troutman and stuff like this, singing and stuff. on that little voice box thing at their games back then. Okay, so Trotwood had came through. Margaret and them got on the bus and they was headed to Trotwood for this rival game between Dunbar High School and Trotwood, right? So Margaret gets on the bus, me and Monique trailing behind her in the car. This boy had messed with Margaret the whole time that they was on the bus. When I tell you he messed with Margaret, Margaret had been mad as shit. Margaret was out for revenge. And I couldn't blame her because he kept messing with her. So, in through the game, everybody's cheering. Now, the stands is packed. The whole thing is packed. Margaret and them cheering their ass out. They cheering against Trotwood cheerleaders. It's going down. Bop, bop, bop. Margaret says, come. Boom, boom, boom. It's going down. Okay. So, halftime comes. Now, Trotwood and Dunbar, it was like 32 to like 36. Somebody, I think Trotwood was leading. Dunbar was pissed. They had the ball. It was getting ready to go down. Brian was on the football team. Let's understand the assignment, okay? Brian was on the football team. So, by them being on the football team, it was halftime. Trotwood had brought out the big guns. They had horses and all this other stuff. This is this. Brian, instead of him just taking it as it was, he was so hyped that at the game that he yelled out to Margaret, like, that's why you still ain't got no hair in the back. Now, he did this towards the stands where Margaret and the cheerleaders was at, so everybody started laughing. Margaret waited good and ready till he started walking back to the center of the field. Margaret came up behind where the Trotwood horse was at. She grabbed some Trotwood horse doo-doo and ran up to him. And when I say she put it inside of his helmet, she put the doo-doo in his helmet. Listen to me. That's at that point, I knew my sister was a fucking dog. When I say she grabbed the doo-doo with her hand and smushed it into his mask, that boy never messed with Margaret ever again after that. But neither did the horse.